let's talk about purple cards. What's going on, yo? It's GUMGUMTCG here, back again with another video, and today we're talking about purple cards? That's right, moving into OP05, purple cards get an insanely powerful boost from some of the cards from the ultimate deck, the 3 captains, as well as multiple cards from the OP05 set. So, I wanted to talk about some of those cards and cards to be on the lookout for, as well as cards to pick up if you're wanting to be part of the purple army. But for now, let's just take a dive into some of these. But first, if you hate red decks as much as I do, make sure to pick up your All My Homies Hate Red Decks hats and shirts down in the description below. And I also wanted to shout out Dueling Guard. If you haven't heard of Dueling Guard, they are the most amazing TCG accessory company on the market. They make anime-inspired TCG accessories such as binders, deck boxes, and playmats for all your TCG needs. And if you haven't heard of them already, make sure to go check them out in the link in the description below. I'll leave a link to their website as well as code GUMGUMTCG you can use for a discount at checkout. What? You haven't heard of Dueling Guard? Dueling Guard is the best TCG accessory company on the market. They have high quality deck boxes, binders, and playmats made for people who enjoy playing and collecting trading card games in style. They have tons of designs based off of fan favorite animes such as One Piece, Bleach, Full Metal Alchemist, and many more. They hit the ground running earlier this year, making high quality TCG accessories with beautiful designs that have sold out many times. So if you haven't picked up any of their products, make sure to do so before they sell out again. I have a few deck boxes and playmats from them already and can attest to how they don't cut any corners when it comes to quality, performance, and design. I highly recommend their products and use them every time I play cards. Be sure to check the description below for a link to their site and use code GUMGUMTCG for a discount at checkout. Alright y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of these purple cards. If you saw one of my last videos, it was about the ultimate deck, the 3 captains, and some of their effects and the cards that you'll see in there. But I wanted to talk about some of those cards again. However, first we're going to talk about the new Purple Monkey D. Luffy leader. It's a 5-life, 5,000 power leader that says activate main. Once per turn, you may take the top card from your life to your hand. That's scary already. If the amount of Dawn on your field is 0 or 3 or more, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as active. So for the price of taking a life card and having 0 or more than 3 Dawn, you get to ramp a Dawn. That is extremely powerful. You basically get a draw and an extra Dawn per turn. That's insane. There's many ways to facilitate this leader and many cards coming out that help boost this leader's power and make it so that that effect isn't as costly as it seems. You know, the -1 life we've seen with other decks such as Edward Newgate, that really doesn't matter. So this leader off the bat is already incredibly strong. It can ramp on its own while also taking a life card to get you an extra card. It does go down in life, but getting that extra card could be something you need for your part of your late game strategy. So this leader's already incredibly strong. Let's look at the Monkey D. Luffy red purple leader again. 6k, 3 life. Activate main once per turn. If your field has 0 Dawn or your board has 8 or more Dawn, you add a Dawn deck from your deck as active. That's insanely strong, extremely powerful leader, and we'll see a lot of play. And let's look at the Law leader again. 5k, 4 life, red purple. Activate main once per turn. Dawn -3. Return one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less to the bottom of their deck. Then play a 4 cost or lower character from your hand. So bottom decking a 3,000 or less power opponent's character and then playing one from your hand generates a lot of advantage. Gets your opponent's character gone while getting you a new body. It's very strong. You do have to go Dawn -3, but like I said, there's other cards that help you ramp and help you facilitate these effects a lot easier. Then let's look at the Kid leader. This leader, people are saying, is the most underwhelming out of all of them. However, I think this leader has a lot of potential. It's very powerful in my opinion. Has 5 life, 5,000 power. It says your turn, if you have 4 or more life, this leader has power -1,000, so that is a downside. But once you get to 3 life, while attacking, Dawn -1, this leader gains 2,000 power. And you're at that 3 life, you have your full 5k power. So your leader can become 7k power for just Dawn -1. Paired with some of these other cards, these leader effects are just insane. So off the bat, we have 4 incredibly strong options that are brand new moving forward for purple players. And yeah, I mean, there's a ton of other options out there. I've seen a lot of Magellan lists out there playing too because of this Eustace Captain Kidd card that Dawn -1 makes your leader gain 1,000. Then your Magellan effect also does the same thing. So when your Dawn is returned, you go up to 7k instead of just 6k from this. That's extremely powerful. You could also play the Kaido card to rip life from your opponent. I do like Purple Yellow Crocodile. I think that this leader is insanely interesting and the color combo is very strong. But for now, we're looking mainly at this Monkey D. Luffy leader. This is kind of the strongest of all of them. This leader is very devastating when paired with some of these cards. So let's talk about a couple cards that you might already have laying around that are going to be very beneficial for this. First one's going to be Magellan. This is kind of for a mirror match situation. You know, you play it, go Dawn -1, your opponent goes Dawn -1. If it's destroyed, your opponent goes Dawn -2. Very powerful and can really put some pressure on your opponent because they don't want to get rid of it, and purple doesn't have a great way to remove this from the board without popping it. So very strong counter option. Polly is also another option. This card's gone up in price, as well as Magellan. This card has gone up just because it's insanely strong. On play, rest 2 Dawn to add a Dawn from your Dawn deck is active. Then if you have 8 or more Dawn, KO an opponent's character with a cost of 4 or less. This card's really strong, just a good solid body with a strong effect. It hasn't had a home until now, and this card sees a lot of play in the mirror match as well as just in the main deck because it gets to rest blockers, or it gets to pop blockers. That's my bad. And then we also do have the Miss All Sunday. I think this is another strong option. A lot of decks are opting to play Jean Bart because it is searchable with this new event card. However, Miss All Sunday does the same thing and gets you a draw. And I mean, for Jean Bart's effect to activate, you have to have 5 Dawn. Might as well just pay the 5 for this card, add a new Dawn, and then draw a card. But Bart does get it as active, so I don't know. It's kind of pick and choose. I think it would be nice to have these on standby, though, if you do have them. Then we also have the Queen blocker from the purple Animal Kingdom Pirate structure deck. If you don't have a pair of these yet, make sure to go pick up a playset because this card's really strong in every single purple deck. We've seen it since the beginning of the game. It's a draw 2, discard 1 effect, and it's very strong. Next, we got some events. Gum Gum Jet Gatling, I think, is one to pick up if you don't have a play set of. I think this card's going to go up in price. It's from OP03, and that set's not being opened as much anymore. We've seen it with 3000 Worlds getting bought out because of blue decks, and this could be a very similar situation. This card's very powerful. It's searchable off of this event, and yeah, it's insanely strong. These cards where you get to discard a card to play it and get 3k power is just very devastating against your opponent sometimes when they don't know you have it. Another one is Blast Breath. This is also from the Animal Kingdom Pirate structure deck. I think this is just a very strong event card. Gives 4k power for 1 Dawn, essentially. You do go minus a Dawn, but in a ramp deck, it does not really matter. Now let's jump into some of the new cards. Starting us off is going to be the new Eustace Captain Kidd blocker from OP05. This blocker is one of the new best blockers in the game. 5 cost, 6000 power, 1000 counter. Blocker, your turn once per turn. When a Dawn card from your field is returned to your Dawn deck, add a Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So all these leader effects and card effects that make you go minus a Dawn are free when you have this on the field. And it's a 6k blocker. So if your opponent attacks for 7k, you can block with this, drop a 2k, and you're still living fine. So this card is off the bat insanely powerful and will be very sought after when the set drops. Next, we have the Monkey D. Luffy Gear 5 card. I think this one's strong, but it's a little gimmicky. It's not played super often in topping lists. However, if you do want to have some fun and you want to show off that Luffy Gear 5 and rep your favorite straw hat, I mean, how else better? There's not a better way to do it than this card, and it looks amazing. It's a super cool card. It's basic. It is a turn skip. However, it's very costly. 10 costs, 12,000 power. On play, Dawn -10. Place all your characters other than this character at the bottom of your deck in any order. Then after this turn, take another turn. It also says activate main once per turn. Rest a Dawn. Add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So when you pair this with your Monkey D. Luffy leader, you'll go down to 0 Dawn, and then you can take a life card to get a Dawn, get another Dawn from this, so you'll be at 2, take your next turn, you'll be at 4. Do it again, you'll be at 5, 6 Dawn again on the next turn. So it's costly because you have to get rid of all your characters. However, if you're in a spot where you don't have any characters and you can play this card, it might win you the game. It's really cool. I think that it's kind of gimmicky, kind of fun, but I like it a lot. I don't think it's going to be topping too often, if at all, but super cool card, and definitely be on the watch for this one because it's a collector piece, and who knows, you might get turn skipped at locals. Next, we got Gene Bart. This comes out of the ST10 as well. This one is insanely strong. It's just 4 Dawn, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter. On play, rest a Dawn, add a Dawn from your Dawn deck is active. That's just super strong. You get a body and an active Dawn for the cost of 5. Very strong character card here, and it's searchable off of this event. So definitely going to be playing this in my list, or every list, honestly, is going to be playing Gene Bart. Like I said, you could play that Miss All Sunday, but people play this because it's searchable. I don't know. I think you're going to see Gene Bart more. Next, we got Law. This is also from ST10. It's a 4-cost 5k blocker, 1,000 counter. On play, Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in your hand, you could trash 2 cards from their hand. So it's basically Isho, and it's also a blocker, but your opponent just has to have 7 cards instead of 6. I think that's fine. You're going to be hitting this effect off all the time. It's completely devastating. And yeah, I think that's one of the reasons people are playing Poly, because when they drop this on them, Poly can then pop it, so you don't have to deal with this. But gosh, this card's insanely strong, especially against red decks. Yeah, definitely be on the lookout for this and watch your hand size, because this will get you. Then we have the main reason, in my opinion, why purple becomes so strong. And that's the Eustace Captain Kidd 7-drop 8k character card. On play and when attacking, Dawn -1, up to one of your leaders gains 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. So if you play this, the turn after you've played your Kidd blocker, this effect is free every time you use it. That's so strong. It turns your 5k leader into a 6k leader, or your 6k leader into a 7k leader. If you have 2 of these on the field, because it's not once per turn, it turns into a 7 or 8k. You can see where I'm getting at with this. This is another one of those very problematic, powerful cards that gives boost to your leaders, such as Edward Newgate character. This card's so strong, and unless you have removal, you're likely not beating over this, because they have event cards like Jet Gatling as well as Blast Breath, and then their blockers on field. So they're going to be protecting this card with their entire life and their entire hand, because it will win them games. This is the card to watch out for. If you don't have your ST10 Ultimate deck pre-ordered yet, I definitely go ahead and try to pre-order those, or pick them up at your local game store on release, because they're going to be wiped off the shelves pretty fast. This card is insanely strong, as well as the Law card and a couple of the other cards you get out of there. So yeah, definitely going to have to watch out for that one. And then finally, we do have a new event card. When you're at sea, you fight pirates. Not sure if that's the official translation, but it's a 1-cost purple event card that says main. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew, Kidd Pirates, or Heart Pirates type card and add it to your hand, then put the remaining at the bottom of the deck in any order. Also has trigger to activate this card's main effect. So essentially, it lets you search for your Kidd, or your Law, or your Luffy, or your Kidd, or your Bart, or almost anything in your deck. It can search for your Jet Gatling. Like, this card is so strong. I'd say the only drawback is that it only looks at 3 cards. Like, it's so strong. There are a couple other cards I was going to talk about, but I think that they're a little more situational, you know, don't have to talk about them. Like Heat, for instance. In the red-purple Kidd deck, this card's very strong, but it's not so strong in all the other leader decks, you know. You also have like Wire and Beppo, Shachi and Penguin. That kind of only goes really in the Law deck. You got your film cards, of course. You could always play some of those. The Killer card is kind of strong. Uta's very strong. I didn't talk about this, but Uta is a very strong blocker for the purple colorway. However, I think that it just gets outclassed by Law because it's searchable and does the hand rip. You You also have some other cards, such as your new Straw Hat Crew cards. I think Zoro Juro is a very strong card. When attacking, if you have 3 or less life, add a Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Pretty strong card, honestly. You have your new Uso Hachi 2K counter that's searchable for purple. There's just a handful of other purple cards that are super strong that come out in OP05 that we could be talking about. However, I think we're going to save those for another video. And honestly, that's going to be the end of this video, y'all. I really just wanted to highlight some of these new leaders and purple cards that you're going to have to watch out for and pick up if you don't have them already, if you're wanting to play purple in set 5. If you're not ready for purple and you don't want to play purple, then be getting your blue and black cards on hand so that you can start playing Sakazuki, because that's one of the only decks that really stands up to this one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there were any cards I missed or any cards that you would add to this list. And make sure to check out Dueling Guard. If you haven't checked them out, I'll have a link to their website in the description below, as well as code GUMGUMTCG you can use for a discount at checkout. Make sure to get your All My Homies Hate Red Decks hats and shirts in the link in the description as well. And check me out on social media. I've got Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those good things. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.